Hi, my name is Emily Warad, and I am one of the technical writers on the team. And today we will be discussing what is technical writing and what makes a technical writer. Let's begin. So, what is technical writing? I would say one of the most important things that technical writers can do is provide analysis and synthesis. What we do with this information is that we can understand how an audience might consume and perceive the information that they are receiving. So, whether the audience is your average consumer, somebody who works in the tech business or government industries, we want to present the information in a way that is clear, concrete, precise, relevant, usable, and accessible, so that the audience can make informed decisions about whether they want to use that product or service. Do they like your ideas? Do they agree or disagree with them? How do we promote ideas that can help change the world and to create better sustainability, right? These are some questions that we should be asking of ourselves. And how do we do that? We do that through our primary goals. So the goal with any form of communication, and this is no exception with technical writing, is to be clear, concrete, precise, relevant, usable, and accessible. Can it meet all of these criteria? That is what we want to do. So, what kind of content do we produce? Here at the company, we generally break it down into three categories: internal documents, external documents, and visual aids. This by no means is an exhaustive list. Here are just some of what we can do, such as proposals, white papers, user manuals, reports, data sheets, and training materials. Training materials such as what is being created today for future employees of this company. Some examples of external documents that we produce also include tutorials, product descriptions, job aids, presentations, podcasts, screencasts, and annual reports, where companies might release to the public of what their earnings are from year to year. Some visual aids that we produce include web content, social media content, and marketing materials such as copywriting, assembly instructions like for IKEA furniture, also includes manufacturing procedures, repair manuals and installation guides, as well as FAQs or frequently asked questions. One thing to consider when creating any type of documentation are the types of background noise. And we will further elaborate on this on the next slide. Different types of background noise. So we're going to start at the top with inner thoughts, triggers, and external noise. So something that can happen is if a reader is very distracted for whatever reason, if it has to do with their individual past or their current circumstances, that could lead to a reader not fully paying attention or understanding to the material that is in front of them. So that is why we want to create information in a way that is going to be clear, it's going to be concise, it's going to be easy to use and accessible. Then moving on to the next type of background noise is education, bias, political beliefs, interests, and meaning. It is important to consider these things, especially in today's landscape, where, especially in North America, when there is a lot of polarized political landscapes. It is something else to consider that it's important to distinguish the nuances as well. For example, if you're working as a medical technical writer, how to share information about new medical advances such as a vaccine to communities that may not be receptive to new information versus communities that may be more receptive. A lot of that plays into the last triangle, which is highlighted in pink around age, health, culture, experiences, and skill set. So something to keep in mind if, for example, you're working as a technical writer on a team to publish a new cell phone. One thing to consider is demographics, specifically demographics of people who are under 25. A strategy is to highlight the camera feature and how easy it is to share footage with friends. For demographics that are over 25, your team might want to highlight things like parental controls, cybersecurity, or ease of use, depending on the familiarity level with technology. All of these things said, all of these things and more inform how a reader will perceive and understand the material that is being presented to them, whether that is through an annual report or a podcast, social media content, etc. Any form of communication in the technical writing business happens along the technical communication process, starting with planning, drafting, and then finishing. In the planning stages, we want to define the project, its goals, and collect information. With this information in mind, we want to analyze the desired audience. What do they do? What do they know? What can they tell us? And then design a plan with these pieces of information in mind and get approval so that we can start drafting to write an alpha review and conduct alpha reviews and tests, which then inform the revision and editing stage to prepare for a final draft and to update any data if necessary. Then we finish by collecting feedback through surveys, user evaluations, and ticket reviews. If necessary, add feedback as a part of new installation, for example, a new product release and their user manual. Here are some common mistakes that are made by technical writers. The first being making incorrect assumptions about the audience. Do they know a lot or do they know a little? Are we using the right terminology? Is it too much expert terminology, jargon, or non-specific language? Are we providing too much content or not enough content? All of these mistakes will be made and they can be corrected with proper analysis, synthesis, researching, testing for accuracy, and peer review. So while mistakes are bound to happen, we will also want to keep in mind of some of our company's best practices. Here is a brief selection of questions that we want to keep in mind when we are creating any kind of documentation. Who is the audience? What do they do? What do they know? What do they expect? What are the tasks that they need to perform? Is it a repair manual for a kitchen table or a rocket ship? What are the priority tasks and need to know pieces of information critical to their success? What is the most relevant information they need to know to understand and use the information? In technical writing, we write for the reader, not for ourselves. Our job as technical writers is to source and collect the information that we need through self-directed research, interviews with subject matter experts, or SMEs, and observations with the product. Then to sort and prioritize the information by relevance for the audience and their needs. Identify gaps and figure out how to fill in those gaps with information. Validate or check that information that you have is accurate and up to date. Manage changes to keep your content up to date. And manage the testing and review of your content to ensure accuracy. So this is our company's mission statement. We want to create documentation through the use of best practices to encourage sustainability in the public and private spheres. We believe that future generations deserve to live in peace and harmony with the earth and all living things. It is our desire as a company to create and sustain a model of productivity that will benefit short and long-term goals. Finally, we just want to wish you a thank you and appreciation on behalf of the company for paying attention to this presentation. We hope that it was enlightening and answered some of your questions about technical writing and what technical writers do. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to our team members and your supervisors and managers, who are always happy to answer questions and have an open door policy. And once again, thank you for watching this video. We look forward to hearing from you soon.